I am an influencer, and today I want to influence you to go offline. Now, I'm not saying technology is completely evil. I'm not telling you to throw your phone away and completely log off. Social media has actually been a game changer for my life. It's helped me meet incredible people from all around the world that I never would have met if I did not have these social media platforms. I've also had so many incredible opportunities, both personally and professionally, because of having a personal brand online. But the reality is we're living in a different world. AI has changed everything, and now we are up against algorithms that no human can compete with. So today, I want to influence you not only to go offline, but to go offline with purpose and intention, and to find the kind of real offline community that the AI cannot replace. So to tell you a little bit more, when I first came to China, I moved here in 2015, and I planned to stay for 1 year. I had just graduated with a media degree in America, and the plan was to have a year to explore, to travel. I was teaching at a university and really enjoying time in a different culture. At this time, I started a blog, Rachel Meets China. This was just an easy way for me to share my life with my family and friends back home. Take pictures of my schoolroom with my students, send it to my family, show them what my life was like. And it was also a way for me to keep up with my media portfolio skills. So combining these two things, Rachel Meets China was born. And I also used it as a way to travel. I started traveling around China a lot by myself and taking photos. So my media and my blog started growing, and I realized that Instagram was a tool of connection. I had people reaching out to me and starting to follow me, interested in China, interested in moving to China, and also just curious about life in a different country. I started traveling to more than 24 different provinces, and I also had the ability to connect with so many international and domestic brands. During this time, I've worked with hospitality, restaurants, services, brands, and other communities across China. And I've also won many awards. I've done influencing and content creation awards, and even had the opportunity to speak and perform at the 2022 Chunjie Spring Festival Gala. So all of this has been incredible for my life and my career. I've really enjoyed my time online and with social media. However, everything has changed. We are now living in a time of AI and so many infinite platforms. When I started Instagram in 2015, it was a photo sharing platform. At this point, you shared one photo with your friends and family. Maybe it was a picture of your lunch, maybe it was a picture of your cat, or family trip photos. And it was really easy to engage with people in your close friend circle. But nowadays, short-form video has exploded, and there are so many platforms where you can use this. There is Xiaohongshu, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Douyin, and on and on and on, plus AI content now. In fact, there are more than 500 hours of video content uploaded to YouTube every single day. This is actually 80 years worth, and that is so much more infinite content than you can actually consume in your lifetime. This is crazy. I believe that social media now feels like these Instagram versus realities. You suddenly have the feeling that you are actually connecting with people. Your phone is always buzzing. You're getting notifications, alerts, text messages. I'm sure even right now you have the urge to check your phone and see if anybody has messaged you, right? But in reality, more people are feeling lonely and disconnected and overwhelmed by digital fatigue. And there are actually a crazy amount of screen time hours that people use their phone every day. It is more than 4.5. And I know mine is even more than that, which is crazy. There's actually a stat that says the amount of time from 2003 to 2022 that people were spending together offline has dropped a lot in the last few years. For American adults, it's dropped 30%. And for teenagers, it's dropped by more than 45%. Now, part of this was the world going through a pandemic. But even since then, people are still finding it difficult to be offline in the same rooms together. And I don't believe this is because people do not want to meet each other offline. We all want to be in the same rooms and connecting. We want to be connecting as human beings. But I think that online life is a little bit easier to replicate, to fake, to feel this connection. Whereas offline life takes time. You need to invest your energy and your skills. We're all busy with work and family and friends. We all have so many other priorities in life that sometimes it can be difficult to make the time to meet people face to face. How many of you have been to events, even here in Beijing, where you're overwhelmed by the number of people in a room? You say hello to somebody, how are you? The usual questions, what do you do? How long have you been here? And then finally, oh, can I add your WeChat or add your Instagram? There's a good intention there, and it's great that we have these tools that we can keep up a connection after meeting someone. But it's really difficult to balance afterwards. How many times do you actually go for a coffee or go for a dinner with these new people that you met? And how could you have time to do that with everybody? I believe that it's difficult for a few reasons, but one study shows that it takes actually 50 hours to turn somebody into a casual friend after you've met them. It takes 90 hours to turn a casual friend into a real friend, and then 200 hours to turn that into a close friend. So real friendship is a time investment, and sometimes you don't have 200 hours to actually spend getting to know as many people now. For many of us who graduated after university, you're not in the same proximity of a lot of your friends anymore, and it takes a lot of time and intention. But I believe that finding and investing in community is the antidote to this digital fatigue. So for so many of us, going to these offline communities is a great way to actually meet people face to face. When I moved to Beijing in 2018, I was growing this social media, traveling more and more, growing my online presence, but I also realized that I needed to be offline and rooted here in Beijing. I started going to events and festivals. I joined a volleyball team, which became a great way for me to have a weekly rhythm with people in my circle. I also was really interested by the idea of hosting events. Back at my university in the US, I'd been hosting social events for my sorority and doing different charity events for different media platforms. And I thought it'd be really cool to host events here in Beijing. So I, with a few friends, started hosting events. But these weren't just usual networking kind of events. We wanted to have a way to structure them so that anybody walking in by themselves would leave with new friendships and connections. One of these events was a trivia night. And instead of joining with a group of friends where you book a table together, all show up, you already know each other, you could only sign up as one person or as two people. And you were put together on teams with other people you did not know. It was a kind of forced connection to play these trivia questions, solve the clues, and try to work together. And in between these questions, you were meeting each other, having conversations. How are you? What are you doing? Making jokes. And it was a really fun way to watch people connect and meet new people. We also hosted scavenger hunts and bowling nights and all kinds of media networking events to help people connect in different kinds of ways, which is really exciting. This made me think also about what I wanted to do for my birthday last year. I think many of us as adults get to a point where what you do for your birthday is you book a table at a restaurant, you invite all your friends to come, everybody's there, maybe some of your workmates, maybe some people from your fitness group, maybe people from your book club, and they may not know each other. Maybe these social circles do not overlap. But I was thinking, how can you make it interesting at a birthday where different people are coming together who may not know each other and inevitably might end up at the table looking at their phones and quiet? And instead, I planned a murder mystery for my birthday last year. And everybody had a character with secret motives and background and information about other characters that they liked or didn't like. And the theme was 1920s. Everybody was arriving on this 1920s train, and the second you stepped inside, you were immersed in character. And people were scheming and solving clues and stirring the pot, going after each other. But it was so much fun, and it's something that we still talk about today because it was a different kind of interaction. Of course, murder mysteries are not a unique idea for me, and it's something that can happen globally. In fact, in China, these are huge. These are actually a game called Jubinsha. And this is a game that is like werewolf mixed with immersion role play and murder mysteries. And you are interacting and playing these games, and there are now more than 30,000 Jubinsha venues across China. And we're seeing this happen for many reasons. One is because I believe that people want to play with each other in the best way. They want to have an hour where they're not catching up, chatting about life. And you can learn more about somebody in an hour of this kind of play than in a year of conversation. There have been studies showing that people who do this with their team building activities are actually interacting on a higher level. And I think that this is a great way that we're seeing Gen Z especially boost in real life events now more than ever. They are the ones that we think are the most online, but they are leading the way with these interactive offline activities. We're seeing a boost in run clubs. There's actually a study that shows 79% of Gen Z are joining run clubs. And is it because they want to run? No. It's because they want to meet people offline. It's incredible, like the kind of events that are happening now. There's also these morning rave parties. There are book swaps. There are all kinds of events where people get together and just want to meet. There are even ditch your phone parties where you cannot even bring your phone into the room. So all of these are providing these ways for people to meet offline. And some of the smartest influencers are realizing this too. They're actually planning trips where you get to travel together with them. So instead of watching your favorite influencer traveling and consuming their content, vicariously living through them and scrolling on your phone, you get to go with them on this trip. And you're automatically connected to other people who are also following this person, who might have similar hobbies or similar interests. And it's a great way that you get to share an experience together. So I believe that in this era of AI, more of these events and these communities are becoming more culturally happening and more important than ever. These kind of offline things are the things that are unifying us in this age of AI. But what does this mean actually for me as a creator and as an influencer? I'm not rejecting social media. I'm not going off my phone anytime soon. That's just not realistic for my media job, for the world that we live in today. But it has made me think more about how am I consuming? How am I using social media? And most importantly, how is my balance between online and offline? Am I investing enough time offline the same way that I'm spending my time online? So I don't believe that the future will be defined by those who master algorithms. I believe that the future will be defined by those who master communities. And I believe that communities are the kind of influence that no algorithm can replace. Thank you.